The grey man does whatever a grey man can. Can he make a comic feed? Yes, he can. He just did. Watch now, a video from Grey Man. A video from Grey Man.
Hey folks, it's blogging time again. And you know it's time for us to be blogging together. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't think of a better song than that. Anyway, it's me again, it's the Grey Man, and guess what? I hope you're all having a great amazing day. You tired of that catchphrase yet? Anyway, I'm going to show you some comics. Yeah, I didn't get any mail today, but I've ordered a few things because I can't control myself. I haven't gone crazy. I think I've got enough money for rent left. I'll have to check. I hope so. Otherwise, I don't know. Whatever, let's not worry about it. Right. Yeah, okay. I've been working busily today on my podcast for tomorrow. I've got, number 350, my 350th podcast. But it's actually more. I've done more than that because I've done Patreon shows. I've done a few other guest shows on other things, and I was doing one for a venue for a while, the Unicorn Pub. I was doing advertising their gigs in a podcast. That didn't last very long. But anyway, so I'm doing that tomorrow. Not there's anyone really listening to them in the comic community, but anyway, I feel like it's something I do in my life, so I might as well mention it. Right, so I'm going through box 17 today, which has got some completed runs that I completed recently, actually, and I think these are all completed runs. And no, there's some here that I still need to collect, actually. I'm still waiting to kind of get some more off, so you'll see them anyway when I get to them. Right, so first off, Machine Man. I quite like that one. I thought it was good. I know Graders Notes reviewed it a little while back, Machine Man #1, and a few of the things they were going on about that, the hokey dialogue and all that kind of thing. I enjoyed it. I didn't mind it. But then I try not to get too het up about stuff, and sometimes when things are from the 70s or whatever, you can't remember not to look at it with a modern day head on. I just think at the time it probably wouldn't have been. I don't know. Maybe it would have been. People still would have thought it was a bit of a hokey dialogue even in them days. But I just find it quite charming when I see the wonky dialogue that they go on with, and their attempts to use cool language and cool slang and that kind of thing. Anyway, I enjoyed this, and art by Kirby in the first part of the run, and then by Ditko in the second part of the run. Two artist giants in the comics industry. So yeah, pretty decent. And the stories are okay. The stories were not bad. Nothing too highbrow, No super long running story arcs or massive crossovers, particularly anything like that. He's just a robot with more humanity than many humans, let's put it that way, but trying to find his place in the world and thinking, I'm a monster, or I'm not human, and yeah, but all along being more human than most of the humans around. Pretty cool covers as well, I think. Pretty decent. Nothing awe-inspiring, nothing to, nothing groundbreaking or earth-shattering or, but just good, capable, nice cover, something like this. You can see he's in danger. Ah! Look at that, he's falling. They shouldn't be falling though, because he can fly. So maybe he's not, but yeah, if you know he can fly, he's not falling. But yeah, he's hanging from the bottom of a zeppelin anyway. Right, and here we accuse Machine Man of plotting to destroy the Earth. Our verdict, death. He's getting killed by a boy band by the looks of it. A firehead boy band. Yeah. I don't remember that story. I don't remember half these stories. I only read it this year. There you go. Battling it out against the Crane. Kubla Khan commands, bring me the body of Aaron Stack, which is his alter ego. He pretends he's a human, an insurance investigator, I think is his job during the daytime. He starts to fall in love with one of his colleagues as well, but he obviously doesn't understand what this human emotion is all about. The Thing and the Torture Whip. Now there's only MM. There you go. Helping out the Fantastic Four against this strange, surreal-looking blob there. Introducing Baron Brimstone and the Satan Squad. And have you met Gears Gavin yet? I was reading the Marvel team-up recently where Machine Man teams up with Spider-Man and they fight, I think it was Sandman and Baron Brimstone, that guy there, so yeah. Don't worry about your arm, you won't be needing it. Madam Menace, she'll tear you apart. Don't worry about your arm, you won't be needing it. She looks quite menacing. And on the back, facing off against Alpha Flight. Right, this one's got a little stamp on it and a bit of pen work as well, unfortunately. Oh, a few instances of pen work, but never mind. At the bottom of it, it says, complete your collection special, or guess what mag won't have a 20th issue. I don't remember, I don't remember this, man. I only read it this year. Just like a crazy sort of... It makes me look like... I'm looking at it, I thought it may be one of those assistant editors months or something like that. When you look at the artwork on there. And that blurb at the bottom, complete your collection special, or guess what mag won't have a 20th issue. It almost seems like a... Like even Jack-O-Lantern seems to be like going... on the cover. That's a bit of a crazy one. Superman and Batman are in the back as well. If you look carefully there, is this the first time Superman and Batman have been on a Marvel comic book cover? You can just see them right there in the distance. It's definitely got a Mad Magazine feel to it, this cover. It's a strange one. I wonder if this could be... because a couple of times they've done it. Roger knows about it. Roger's mentioned it before. There's a carnival somewhere with floats in it. Somewhere in America, they do a yearly superhero sort of carnival. It's not like not a fete, procession. Is that what it's called? Where all floats going down the road, and superhero film. I wonder if that could be maybe there, but other than the fact it's got Jack-O-Lantern on a proper pogo thing, but everybody else looks like dressed up as superheroes rather than being the superheroes. Yeah, it's possible. Anyway, and then finally I've got this one here, Annual Style Machine Man and Bastion. So that's a much more modern book, but I've got it in with me. It's an annual, 1998 annual, Machine Man and Bastion. I think featuring Cable, Engines of Destruction, Book 2. I don't know what that's about. Is it a one-off annual, or is it a second part of a story, or is it a second part of a Cable story in the back of it? I read that recently as well. I don't remember that, but whatever. I am not the person to go looking for if you're looking for someone who can remember things. Oh dear. Right, let's go through the Savage She-Hulk as well. My Savage She-Hulk collection is here. It's another one that I completed a little recently and read. It's always nice to complete a run so you can read them. I thought it was this was all right. A bit too focused on her love life. I thought I wasn't really interested. I want to see her fighting people and fighting crime and stuff. When they bring in like love elements, it's like, yeah, I don't need to know about that. Where the bloody hell did number 1 and 2 go? I thought that was a bit weird. I seem to have missed. There you go. Sorry, I picked out the wrong one first, didn't I? There's me saying that I've completed this run, and then I showed you number 3 and number 4. Yeah, that's a nice cover. Not bad condition. I got it fairly cheap. I never had number 1. It started going up in price, didn't it? I think number 2 was about the only one I had of this one in my collection. Oh, and possibly the one with the elephant guy in it. I always remember that one. Thought it was quite fun. Most of the villains in this run were kind of one-offs. Or I don't think they ever went any further after this run. I think a few of them might have got together. It ended up facing different villains every month, but they're all being sent by this same guy, who she ends up facing off with in the end. She was a bit on the savage side. She wasn't totally off the rocker like the real Hulk, the main Hulk is, her cousin, Bruce Banner. She's still got some control, but she's a little bit reckless, a little bit quick to fight when she's the savage She-Hulk, but she's not in the same vein as the real Hulk. I wouldn't call him the real Hulk, but the original Hulk. Let's put it that way. Man Hulk. Should we call him Man Hulk from now on? As she's She-Hulk, he could be Man Hulk or Bloke Hulk. Bloke Hulk. That would be a good name for him. Or Hulk Bloke. All right. This was quite a good villainess, but I don't think she lasted. I can't remember the word. I think it was the word was. He's got a power to like say things and make people do what he says. And I think this was his daughter that he raised to like, just like the power of belief. You can do this. You are strong. You are, that kind of thing. And so she never had any actual power. I think somehow it created powers in her in a way that she was able to do superhuman strengths because he'd used his word to tell her that she could. And it's like her power of belief or something. You won't need those guns. The She-Hulk is dying. Now she's alive again, but that's good. We don't want the She-Hulk dying. She's cool. She's the sexy green lady who kicks butt. From another world they came, warriors of the Shadow Cloak, guest starring the monstrous Man-Wolf. They're pretty cool covers, I think. Nice, bold logo. The Savage She-Hulk. It's like it's hewn from granite, That's how you can tell she kicks butt. Because her logo is crushed out of rock. A bit of a space saga. I think it was another dimensional saga as well, and Hellcat came along for the ride in this one. Guest starring Hellcat and the Man-Wolf. Peril on a subatomic planet. That was it. It was subatomic. It wasn't other dimensional at all. This was an interesting story. Lady kills the blues. For some reason she thought she was being held down and by everybody, but it turns out she was just absolutely talentless when it comes to singing. She couldn't sing. She was rubbish, but she thought she was excellent. I can't remember how that turned into a story in the end. Did she have superpowers? It looks like she's got supersonic powers here now, but I can't remember if that's actually what happened or not now. It's, yeah. But it was quite an interesting story. This one, the most off-the-wall adventure in a Marvel mag this month. Look out, the She-Hulk is trying to kill us. Something to do with an antennae, which they believed was causing leukemia to the residents. And it's kind of like harking almost to the current climate, where a lot of people were thinking that the new mobile phone masts that were doing the 5G, whatever it was responsible for the coronavirus and the COVID. People were burning down these mobile masts, and I think this was like a radio or broadcasting mast of some kind. This is the days before mobile phones, wasn't it? But it was some kind of broadcasting mast for something, and their neighbours were believing it was causing leukemia and illness, and so She-Hulk ends up, I think either she breaks it down herself or she lets some guy blow it up with dynamite. And that was an interesting story, and I wonder, I can't remember if there's any actual truth in. I know the masks at the moment aren't causing COVID or blinking coronavirus, and I'm pretty bloody sure of it. But was there ever a time when it was actually proven that these kind of radio masks, whatever they were actually causing illness and sickness and cancers in people? I know they're supposed to be. I'm sure I've read that proximity to electrical pylons. If you live near electrical pylons, it can, the cases of cancer are higher or something like that. So I don't know what's true about that. But anyway, I'm just meandering. My brain's just meandering on thoughts of stuff. But anyway, that was what that story was about. But it makes you wonder if there was any proof in it and whether that comic kind of like helped to add to people's belief that it did cause cancers. Or maybe it's proven that he did. I don't really know. But anyway, this was an awesome fight with the Elephant Man. I love this one. His staff as a brush. He wants to prove that because She-Hulk for quite a bit was believed to have killed her friend, I think, and so she was wanted a fair bit of the time by the police and that. And I think he wanted to prove that his new suit that he'd made, like all hydraulics and I can't remember. I think he was in the field of mining. I think it was mining or something like that. And he created a suit. Maybe it was a rescue suit. I can't remember now. But it had all hydraulics. It had like tusks that could like become winches and pull people in, that kind of thing. But he wants to show his power by bringing in the She-Hulk, the savage She-Hulk. And even I think he discovers that she's not wanted after all, and the charges have been cleared against her or something. But he still wants to prove his suit's efficacy, so he takes her on, and it wasn't as effective as he'd hoped. I'd like to have seen him team up with her, actually. I'd like to see him come back in a Marvel team up or something. I thought he was quite cool. A bit of fun, a bit of a quirky, fun villain. I think Rogers looked down his nose at him. I'm sure Rogers made some disparaging comments about poor old Elephant Man, but I thought he was cool. But then I have a silly sense of humour, maybe. But anyway, there you go. That's the next one in the run. In the grip of the grappler. Right. Only there's a few more to go. I thought it was double trouble for the She-Hulk. Don't miss designer jeans. That's genes as in genetics, as in genome, not the channel, but the your to do with your genes, your chromosomes and all that kind of thing. I'm not a scientist. You can probably tell I'm not a scientist. I don't have any letters after my name. I might have a few policemen after my name. No, I haven't. No doctorate here. Anyway, when the She-Hulk says stop, you stop. Yeah, but that last one, this one, while I'm remembering, her boyfriend sold her down the river to some guy to get her, because I think he was sort of fooled into like saying, oh, her DNA could help people, and he says he didn't know they was going to hold her captive and hurt her, that kind of thing. But yeah, just an idiot, be honest. If you're going to give up your gorgeous green Goliath girlfriend to some genetic... Trying to be alliterative now. I didn't start off wanting to be alliterative, but then I thought this was being quite alliterative. Let's think of another G, and I can't think of one now, and I've forgotten the old tone of my sentence and where I was going. Yeah, don't sell your girlfriend's genetics to mad scientists. There you go. That was basically the moral of the story there. I remembered the moral. That's the main thing. If you've got a girlfriend or boyfriend and they're a little bit different, don't say... Yeah, I will convince them to come to your scientific experiment place and let you do experiments on them. Don't do it, because they won't love you for it. It will put a crimp in your relationship. Right, the savage She-Hulk. Nobody escapes the Seeker. He's a big fella, at least according to this picture. I don't think he's quite this big in the comic story that I recall. And in this next one, the She-Hulk battered by the vicious vibratory vortex of radius. Oh, I do like a bit of alliteration, and a vicious vibratory vortex certainly hits my alliteration button. That's right in my alliteration G-spot. Anyway, carrying on quickly before people realise that I'm a twerp. Right, the Savage She-Hulk, the She-Hulk War. And most of those villains on the last two covers were sent by this one big boss. I can't remember what the big boss's raison d'etre is now. He's just an arse. It doesn't say that. He doesn't say, hi, I am an arse, that's why I'm doing these things. He has some nefarious plot, which probably makes sense to him, but I seem to recall wasn't very sensible. Yeah. And then the penultimate, we're nearly reaching the denouement. The Savage She-Hulk, the day the Earth screamed. And when this is the big boss's mention, the guy who's been plaguing her for a while behind the scenes. She's finally found out where he is. He thinks he's leading her into a trap, and he's got all these. Basically, the Earth moves. He's kind of like he's kind of like genetically altered the ground around his mansion, so it's like a living thing that attacks She-Hulk, and there's various genetic byproducts have been gene clone creatures that have been created and cast away because they're not up to scratch, and I think they're living under the earth, and she faces off with them. I think they end up joining her in fighting back against the person who made them, kind of Frankensteinish. The monsters have returned to get their revenge against the creator who spurned them, that kind of thing. Right, and finally, number 25, The Savage She-Hulk double-size grand finale. Oh, I've never noticed this before, but on the little corner, She-Hulk's crying. Ooh, she's got a tear rolling out of her pretty green eye. Oh, poor little She-Hulk. She's a little pout. And Savage She-Hulk, the end of the She-Hulk. She's, just the end of the comic, really. It's not the end of the She-Hulk. The She-Hulk still lives. She doesn't get turned into a mass of protoplasm or gets killed or, plunges into freezing cold sea and turned into a block of ice. Nothing like that. She comes back in another comic, which I will show you some of those tomorrow. I'll show you them. Well, I haven't got the whole run though. That's one of those ones I'm trying to get, which has got some expensive keys in it, just for silly things like implied nudity or whatever. She's naked behind a Comics Code Authority stamp in the corner, something like that, stuff like that. And they're like, stupid money. But anyway, there you go. She wanders off into the spotlight. The spotlight's diminishing as she walks off into the spotlight, I suppose. So that was the end of her run. 25 issues, pretty good read. I quite enjoyed them, which is the main thing. I'm glad to have them in my collection now. And that's me done for the day. This has been your daily blog. I hope you have been slightly interested, possibly amused, maybe amazed. Perhaps you've been amazed, oh wow! Perhaps you thought I've been exceedingly erudite and you want to give me a thumbs up. And if you're new here, perhaps you'll hit the subscribe button, and hit the little bell for notifications. Wouldn't that be zany of you to do? Wouldn't that be splendiferous? Yes, that would be splendiferous. That would be exactly what it would be. I'm stalling for time. Small channel shout out. Well, I like to call it the Less Bigly channel shout out. And I don't know. I have forgotten. I haven't got any at the moment prepared, I don't think. I'm trying to think of a random. Let's go with Not Quite Mint again. I have mentioned these fellas before. They don't get enough people watching their channel. A pair of British oiks, English oiks like me. Couple of rum fellas. No, they're not rum fellas at all. They're good eggs. They're absolute bricks, the pair of them. And you should sub them up, even though it's only one channel. So you get two people from one sub. Isn't that great amazing? So Not Quite Mint. The link will be down below and in the corner. I'm buggering off now. I'll be back tomorrow. And until next time, may all your news be good news.
Unless you are a bottom-head or a horrible bind, I think that you should go and have a squint at a little channel called Not Quite Mint. Not Quite Mint, go and sub them now. Not Quite Mint, go and sub them now, or I'll hit you with a...